He won millions and lost everything. In just a few years, he went from having it all to having nothing. At first, everything felt perfect. Money everywhere, luxury, freedom, every desire within reach. But that's where the problem begins. But what happens when that dream turns toxic? This is the story of Daniel, a young man who found himself standing on the precipice of unimaginable wealth, only to discover that some prices are simply too high to pay. His journey, from an anonymous life to the dizzying heights of luxury, then down to absolute nothing, holds a powerful, unsettling truth about money, our minds, and the illusions we chase. He wasn't looking for a handout. He wasn't even famous. Daniel was just a regular guy. Until one phone call, one notification, one moment that changed everything. $12 million. It was real. Not a dream, not a fantasy. He felt it physically. A jolt, a surge of adrenaline. He was untouchable. The world, he believed, was now his. His life before was ordinary. He worked hard, barely made ends meet. But with millions, that all vanished. Overnight. The old life, the old struggles, they simply ceased to exist. In their place, a vibrant, pulsating rush, the feeling of absolute power. He could finally breathe. He could finally live, or so he thought. The early days were a blur of opulence. Luxury cars appeared in his driveway. Not one, but a fleet. A sprawling mansion perched on a hill with panoramic views. Designer clothes-filled closets, lavish parties, every night a celebration. Champagne flowed, expensive meals. He was the center of attention. Everyone wanted a piece of Daniel. Everyone wanted to master. He thought they were his friends. He thought this was what happiness felt like. It was an intoxicating rush, a feeling he believed would never end. He saw money on his wall, a boundless ocean, an endless well from which he could draw. There was no bottom, no limit. But even in the brightest moments, a flicker of something else began to emerge. A slight hesitation, a shadow behind his eyes, a growing uncertainty. He was trapped, he just didn't know it yet. The spending escalated. It wasn't just about what he needed anymore. It was about proving something to himself, to everyone around him. He bought more cars, bigger houses. He bought friends. He paid for their trips, their debts, their fleeting smiles. He indulged. He spent without restraint. Every whim, every desire, instantly satisfied. The thrill of the purchase was addictive, a fleeting high, followed by a deeper, growing emptiness. Did he ever truly understand money? Or did he see it merely as a tool for instant gratification, for validation, for escape? The psychology was simple, yet deadly. Quick money can amplify everything that's already inside you, the good, the bad, the ugly. For Daniel, it amplified a deep-seated insecurity, a need for approval. The cycle became vicious. Days bled into nights. Casinos became a second home. The high stakes, the flashing lights, the roar of the crowd. It was another way to chase that initial rush. Manic behavior, reckless decisions. He was constantly battling FOMO, the fear of missing out, convinced that if he didn't seize every opportunity, every moment of pleasure, it would all disappear. The money was no longer a blessing. It was a catalyst. It amplified his emotion. It inflated his ego. It fueled his deepest fear. He was drowning, not in debt yet, but in his own choices, in his own feelings. Then the whispers started, the subtle shifts. The initial euphoria began to fade. The endless parties grew thinner. The friends became less available. The numbers on his bank statements, once astronomically high, began to shrink rapidly. The bills started piling up, not the fun bills for luxury items, but stern, official notices. Lawyers called, accountants looked grim. He tried to hide it. He tried to pretend it wasn't happening. But the reality was undeniable. his reckless acquisitions, his uncontrolled indulgence, it all came with a crushing price tag. He made bad investments, swayed by charismatic fraudsters promising even more returns, even quicker riches. He ignored advice, he dismissed warnings, he believed he was still UN. The foreclosures arrived, the notices on the mansion, the repossession orders for the cars. One by one, the symbols of his supposed success were stripped away. His choices, once so exhilarating, were now crushing him under their unbearable weight. The endless ocean of money he once imagined was now a barren desert, dry, empty. He lost everything. Not just the millions. He lost his fortune, yes, but he also lost the friends who vanished the moment the champagne stopped flowing. He lost his dignity. And most tragically, he lost his sense of self. The man who had once felt so powerful, so confident, was gone, replaced by a hollow shell. He was back to zero, but it wasn't the same zero he started with. This zero came with a heavy, agonizing price. It was laced with regret, with shame, with isolation. The mansion, once filled with laughter, stood cold and empty. He sat alone in a bare apartment, the echoes of his past excess haunting him. The dream, it had become a nightmare. He was truly, utterly alone. Years passed. Daniel, older now, his face etched with hard-won wisdom, looks back. The harsh truth is undeniable. Money itself doesn't buy happiness. It amplifies who you are. For Daniel, it amplified impulsivity. It amplified a desperate need for external validation. It revealed a deeply ingrained insecurity. He regrets the choices, the waste, the illusion. But in the ashes of his financial ruin, he found something invaluable, a profound understanding. The core problem wasn't the money, it was his mindset. He lacked discipline, he lacked patience, he failed to understand the true game of money. It isn't a bottomless ocean, it's a tool, a responsibility, not a magic solution to every problem. True wealth isn't measured in bank balances alone. It's built on something deeper, on self-awareness, on discipline, on the wisdom to know the difference between what you want and what you divest knowing. He had millions and lost everything, not because of bad luck, but because he wasn't ready. Because money doesn't fix who you are, it reveals it. And if you're not in control, it can destroy you. So before you chase more money, ask yourself this: would you actually know how to keep it? Because making money is easy, but keeping it is a different game. Do you want to know how some people manage to build lasting wealth?